So stand for national anthem, pledge of allegiance, arms are count. Please join me. Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hail, and the twilight's last gleam, whose broad and bright stars through the perilous night, over the ramparts we watch, first so gallantly stream, and the rocket's red flare above bursting in air, came through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave over the land of the free and the home of the brave. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to welcome Seth Brooks for our invocation, please.
There we go. All right. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for allowing us to come here together today for fellowship and friendship, as well as coming together that we may use our time and our gifts that you've given us in charitable service to our fellow man. Lord, I ask that you help us to remember that every day that we get is a gift. And then all of our actions, we do those actions to glorify you. Pray this in your heavenly name.
Amen. Mr. Terry Duffy, family of Rotary.
Thank you, Greg. Hope everybody's having a fantastic Monday. Can't figure out if it's gonna rain or not. It's gonna be a great day anyway. Birthday short and sweet. He's not looking any older, but Doug Blankenship, March 6th. Maybe you'll look older on March 6th. So that's a big birthday. We're celebrating a couple of anniversaries. John Brown and Carrie on March 6th, and David Hanson on March 10th. Hope you all have a great week. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. The Rotary Ball is coming up April 27th, and we are having table sales only. I was wondering though, if there's interest in people buying individual tickets. We've got 4 tables left, and if you'll see me after Rotary, we could work out the individual ticket sales. Thanks.
I guess you normally see Josh up here today, and I was going to throw a little thing out there. He texted me this morning or late last night. His son had an accident. Hopefully, you don't mind me telling you, he broke his arm yesterday, and so he's having surgery today. So I apologize. I'm winging it a little bit today, but we're going to have a great day. If I can, Mr. John Gormley, introduction of guests and visiting Rotarians.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Visiting with us today, if you would, when I call your name, please stand and remain standing. All of the visitors have been introduced. We've got Carol Peak, a guest of Josh Chapman, who isn't here. Laura Bruce is a guest of the club. Rosemary Hunter, Zach West, and Ben Lundy are all guests of Brad Parrish. Fran Lamantina is a guest of Greg Hendricks. Drew Pine is a guest of Donna Tomlin. Bill Castle, Francis Castle, and Jennifer Castle, all guests of the club. Paloma Killingsworth is here from the the Tuesday Club. And Nancy Pelosi is here as a guest of Terry Duffy. He's coming around back.
Okay, can't ask it.
It's not a fight, John wants to start.
I'll intimidate you later.
Who's lucky today? How many points we got? Wow, 3,846 points. 266,509. Last score 6509.
Are you sure?
Last score 6509.
I can't see him now.
Queen of Hearts. Congratulations. We have an announcement for Mr. Tom West.
Paul Harris, recipient of Bob, appreciate the numbers you gave us last week and proud of this club and the money that they have put into the Paul Harris. This is a special announcement for me, and you'll see why. Our recipient is a native of Dothan, finished in the public schools of Dothan, graduated from Northview, went to the University of Alabama, majored in accounting. After he graduated, he went to Chicago to seek his fortune. While in Chicago, he came back and married his long-term girlfriend, Amy. And they remained in Chicago for a while before they moved to Atlanta, where he took a position with Arthur Anderson before Arthur Anderson crashed. During that time, he got his CPA. About the time the family was about to increase, they came home to Dothan. He went to work at the Tom West Company and has done an outstanding job as a realtor, different things he's done. In paying his civic dues, he has been on the board of CI, Houston Academy, United Fund, and the Chamber of Commerce. He has served as chairman of the Chamber and of United Fund. He's also a trustee of United Fund. On a statewide basis, he has been on the Alabama Commission of Higher Education. He served as chairman 2020 to 2022. Wiregrass Church is his church home. Hobby-wise, he can be found in some of the local gyms before most of us get up in the morning. He's run several marathons at very respectable times, but his main hobby is his family, his wife, and his 4 children, which happens to be my youngest daughter and 4 of my grandchildren. Charles Button, would you come on up?
Whoa.
Don't worry, I have a little to say before, but then you can start crying.
I don't deserve this.
gotta tell you.
Oh, you do. Charles and Tom, the presentation of Paul Harris Fellows Rotary Foundation's way of expressing his appreciation for his substantial contribution to its humanitarian and educational programs. This honor is named for Rotary founder Paul Harris, who started Rotary in 1905. In order to become a Paul Harris Fellow, a person must contribute $1,000 to the Rotary Foundation Annual Fund, Polio Plus, or an approved foundation grant. Charles, it is because of gifts like yours that the Rotary Foundation is able to carry out an array of programs that achieve beneficial changes in our world, such as increased food production, better education, and water availability of treatment and rehabilitation for the sick and disabled, to name a few. In becoming a Paul Harris Fellow, Charles joins a remarkable company of persons throughout the world, all recognized for their devotion to the idea of goodwill, peace, and understanding. Paul Harris said, he who tries to find the good in others will be rewarded, for others will surely find the good in him. Of all the earth's sad and lonesome creatures, the most helpless is he who loves not his fellow man. Charles, at this time, Tom West will present you with the Paul Harris Fellow Certificate and pin. We congratulate you, and we thank you for your commitment to the programs of the Rotary Foundation. I would like to invite everyone to rise and join me in recognizing Charles Clark.
I just want to introduce my beautiful family over here. Wesley is a junior at Alabama, and she just came home this weekend. I guess now I know. Thomas and Chase are my twin boys. They're juniors at Houston Academy. They both play football, and Thomas plays tennis. And I guess y'all are thrilled to get out of school, right? Yeah, so make sure you go back. And then there's my beautiful daughter. She's 23. She's full-time at Calvary Baptist in the daycare. I'm really, really proud of her. And then Amy and I are about to have our 29th anniversary in July. And but we started at first grade at Houston Academy, and then we were high school sweethearts in Northview. And but this is my life right here, and I just adore them. And to kind of quote Lou Gehrig, I would say today I am the luckiest man on the earth. Thank you.
You could have signed four of them.
Just too many of them.
Who's called from over here?
Smile, Rick. All right.
I'd like to call up Art Morris for introduction too.
Fellow Rotarians and guests, I want to take this opportunity. It is my pleasure to talk to you about a Rotarian, a longtime Rotarian here, who is going to be given emeritus or status or honorary Rotarian status today. I think most of you know Bill Caslin and the contributions he's made to this club and this community. I've known Bill a little longer than he's been involved in Rotary. Bill is an aviator. He is a recipient of the FAA's Master Aviator Award, which is quite an accomplishment. He's been involved in aviation all his life. he's made significant contributions to aviation. And for a long time, he led the Experimental Aircraft Association chapter here, and pretty much made it what it is today as a viable organization. Helped get him a new home and a new headquarters here in Dothan. So Bill has also made significant contributions to our community and to his family, and we're honored to know Bill and have him in the club. And today we want to honor him by presenting him this honorary lifetime membership to our Rotary Club. So if Bill and Francis, if you can make your way up here.
Enough, Rotarians here that if I fall, somebody will pick me up.
And now Cal Whaley for our program.
Right, well, many of you today are probably already familiar with our speaker, Pastor David Johnson. Joe served as pastor of Evergreen Presbyterian here in Dothan, 1990 to 2023, when he retired from the pulpit. I personally got to know Joe serving with him on the board for the Herring Houses of Dothan, which is what he's here to talk to you about today. After he had retired from active ministry, he graciously agreed to step in as executive director of the Herring House following the unexpected passing of his former director and founder, Larry Kirkland. For those of you not familiar with what Herring Houses does, they're a transitional residential program for people with substance abuse. They provide a sober living community for people who are coming out of detoxes and inpatient rehabs as they work to transition back into the community at large. Herring House is the only program of its kind in Dothan and serves a huge need here. They operate at full capacity and the current waiting list is over 3 months out. And the statistics back up their approach. A recent study showed that just 11% of people leaving inpatient rehabs were able to stay sober more than a year when they went straight back home. When they go through a transitional program like Herring House, that percentage, that success rate skyrockets to about 68%. So it makes a huge difference. Herring House is a nonprofit, fully relying on state funding and community support. On your tables, you'll find a sheet outlining the services provided and some of the current needs that program is facing. I'm excited for you all to hear from Joe about our wonderful program and the wonderful work they're doing. Please help me welcome Joe Johnson.
Thank you, Cal, for doing what I was going to do and saying what I had almost planned to say. I appreciate that very much. Many of you are aware because you know the founder of Southeast Intervention Group and Herring Houses, Dr. Larry Kirkland. His mother is here, Aloma Killingworth is here today from the Tuesday Club, I believe. Many of you know Larry, and many of you know his story. You might know that somewhere around 2007, I guess it was, Larry returned to Dothan after finding life again in several treatment centers in Florida, returned to Dothan to fulfill a promise that he had made to God. This is what I had been told by Larry. He told God, he said, if you will get me out of this ditch I'm in, and if you will allow me to find my way to sobriety, I will go home and I will help others get out of the ditch and find their way to sobriety as well. And that was the promise of God to God that brought him home. Through the generosity and the sacrificial giving and the utter graciousness, the radical graciousness of Larry's mother, and also many kind business people in this community, some of whom are here today, Herring Houses was born. We currently have six buildings that the program owns and operates. 1, 2, 3, 4 of those are residential buildings. The others are combination office and conference room buildings, a variety of things. As Cal referred to, we operate a multi-dimensional approach to the treatment of recovering alcoholics and recovering drug users. We use therapeutic support. Our staff is made up of 3 therapists and several peer support members who offer case management and peer support, which is a form of therapy. We offer medically assisted treatment. All of our clients are expected and required to work and maintain and provide their own means for being at the center. And we provide stability for our clients. We provide structure for their lives. And we provide hope for those who come to us. We provide grace for those who come to us. And we provide love and concern to those who come to us. It is a program that is designed completely from the ground up in every step of the way to provide an opportunity for people to find new life where they had not found it before. And they can find ways in which they can become contributing partners and contributing people in the communities in which they will later find themselves. We are proud to serve in that engagement. We are proud to serve in that environment. And we also see the need that is continuing for the services that we offer. I'm not sure if you are aware, but recently the mental health communities of our country, along with the medical communities of our country, have determined that America is the loneliest that it has ever been. Are you aware of that? We are the loneliest that we have ever been. Several years ago, a guy by the name of Robert Putnam wrote a book called Bowling Alone. You may be familiar with the book. In the book, he argues that the socialization effects of our country are diminishing. His metaphor for the book is that bowling leagues are going away. They're not doing them anymore. People, our church involvement is declining. PTA involvement is declining. Social club involvement is declining. All of these things are declining, and our only social outlets that we have available to us basically are family and work environments, and beyond that, we're on our own. And we have become a lonely community. And it's not just people who are my age, 65 and older. The largest community and our largest grouping of people in our country who are lonely are 14 to 25. They are twice as likely to be lonely as anybody over 65. Are you aware of what the self-prescribed remedy for loneliness is? The most common self-prescribed remedy for loneliness, I would argue, alcohol and drugs. Because it seems to want to remove us from the reality in which we find ourselves. So the need for the services that we offer are not going to go away. The need for the services that we offer is going to increase. The lonelier we get as a community and as a country, the need for places like Herring Houses is just going to increase. And we are delighted that we are able to offer that for this particular community in the ways that we are able to offer it. You may want to ask about what is our success rate? Well, we don't actually keep that information. I do know this, everyone who goes through our program and we discharge are discharged sober. They don't always stay in this community. They may leave and go to another community, and we often lose touch with them. But I would imagine, if I don't have any stats on this, I would imagine that everybody who goes through the program and is discharged successfully in our program, they stay in this community. The one thing that they continue to do is involve themselves in recovery aspects of AA meetings, NA meetings, recovery meetings, and we run into them there, and they're all still making a living. They're all still making progress. So we can't put a percentage on what our success rate is, But I would venture to say that it's higher than the 68% that Qire mentioned. So we are necessary to the health and the well-being of the community in which we live. I want to introduce to you a colleague of mine, a friend of mine, Nate Qire, who is on our staff. He's our property manager, but he also can tell a story that is very indicative of the clients we serve. Nate?
How's everybody doing? Excuse my nervousness and fear. I've only been living appropriately for about 4.5 years. And you'll hear about that in my story. Life is still very new and very surreal to me. Like Joe said, I work at the Herring House. I'm what's considered a certified recovery support specialist. And what that means is I use my personal story to reach into the darkness and bring other recovering addicts into the light, using my personal story. This is my story. And it's very brief. I'm not going to get into gory details, but yes, let me start. Hello, my name is Nate Qire. I'm a person in long-term recovery. For that means for 4.5 years, I've not had to use a mood or mind-altering substance. Life for me as a child was pretty normal. I come from a middle-class family. I'm a military brat. At a very young age, I was put on medication to deal with ADHD. By 15, I was smoking marijuana. By 16, I was using harder drugs like crystal meth. I had a very long history with drugs. I've been to prison in a couple different states. I've been homeless, lived in abandoned houses, and used IV drugs for 20 years. Overdosed a couple times, including being found dead on the side of the road. Addiction wreaked havoc on my life for 24 years. At 38, I was on community corrections, and my community corrections officer tracked me down when I stopped checking in. After letting me sit in jail for a month, he came and asked me if I would be willing to go to treatment. I went to a 21-day treatment program and was introduced to a 12-step program. When I completed the treatment program, I was released back into my home and started a very rigid 12-step program in my life. On August 20th, 2019 was the beginning of my recovery. Today, my personal program of recovery consists of going to several meetings a week, having a sponsor, doing step work, and continuing to be of service. Because of recovery, today I have a family. I'm looking to buy a home, have a couple of vehicles, and I do some things people take for granted, such as paying rent, paying a car note, keeping a cell phone turned on. And I'm able to be present in my life and to those I love. I get to be a son, a brother, an uncle, and a stepdad. Recovery has taught me a new way to live. Also, work in recovery, being able to give back to my community is very important to me. I now work at Southeast Intervention Group, or better known as the Herring Houses of Dothan. The Herring House is a state-certified transitional housing that houses 20 males and 10 females that are battling substance use disorder. I'm a certified recovery support specialist, case management, outreach specialist, property manager, and I do transportation. I work one-on-one with clients to help them find their own pathway to recovery. It's programs like this, the Herring House, that helped me greatly in my early recovery. I love this line of work and get to reap the great benefits. There's nothing more rewarding than seeing the light come on in somebody that has been lost to active addiction and watching them grow into beautiful, productive members of society. I try to be an example to anybody watching that recovery and change is possible. The stigma that once an addict, always an addict is a tired old lie. We do recover. I also want to read, I've got several of these brochures up here if anybody wants one, wants to see more, learn more about it, but I do want to read our mission. It says, our mission is rooted in the belief that everyone can get better. We passionately believe that those affected by substance use disorders will benefit from treatment, and we're committed to helping them recover. Our programs are grounded in the principles of the 12 steps, which are spiritual in nature, widely accessible, cost-effective, and of the highest quality. We draw from the 12 steps what is most effective. Challenge ourselves through continuous self-assessment to improve our effectiveness and quality of life for those affected by applying trauma-informed improve our effectiveness and quality of life for those affected by applying trauma-informed, evidence-based treatment and develop plans for aftercare to prevent return to substance use. Thank you.
You have on your table, I believe, some information that Cal put on the table. That's for you to use and enjoy and read a little bit about. I will say this, every client who is admitted to our program is assigned immediately a care team. That care team would consist of a therapist, a peer support specialist, and a case manager. The peer support specialist would likely be someone, Nate, or someone like Nate, to provide that walkthrough and to provide that camaraderie and that journey partner that the clients drastically need in order to be a success. All of our clients pay rent to be in our facility. They are expected to go through the entire program. They're expected to attend meetings. They are expected to cooperate with all of the rules and all of the things that we do there, and so on and so forth. So it is a very structured environment, as I said. It is a very successful environment, as I said. And it is a joy and a fulfillment for me to be a part of it in this new phase of my life. I don't do any clinical work. I'm not a part of that at all. My main role is to work in the business aspect and to help our business manager manage things. But the number one role that I try to embrace is I try to encourage and support and to tell the Nates of our staff what a good job you're doing, how good you are and how much you are appreciated and how much the gifts that you provide to each of our clients and to the rest of the staff is uplifting and life-giving. That's my number one job, is to say, well done. I appreciate it, and it is my joy to walk this journey with Nate and his colleagues. I'll answer any questions, or I'll make up answers to any questions that you have, or I will defer them to, if you can reach Larry Kirkland, you can ask him. I'll answer any questions that you have.
Where do your members come from?
All over the state.
Are they referred by some particular judge or some organization?
Yes, many of our clients come through the court system. Also, they can be self-admitted, although I don't think we have any at the moment, do we? We do have some at the moment that are self-admitted. Good many of them come through the court system for a variety of reasons. And we monitor that system. We monitor the court system with them. We're in touch with all of their court people. I think Nate was with someone just recently at an appearance in North Alabama. So, yes. Yes, sir.
Now, let me say this, I knew Larry Kirkland. He was one of the finest ambassadors for treatment for alcoholics and drug addiction in the state of Alabama. The guiding light he left for all of us was that this organization needs our support. It is not an organization that is based upon government intervention. It is an organization that is freestanding and created by Larry, who, when he gave his word that he would make sure that everyone complied by the rules, that word stood firm. And I want to say thank you for continuing his tradition here in our city.
Thank you for that. We do, because we are licensed by the state, we do get support from the Alabama Department of Mental Health. It's not enough to cover the expenses that are required to operate the program, but we do get some support from the Alabama Department of Mental Health. Yes.
How long does the program last to complete it?
Well, it varies per client. Some clients will stay several months, some clients will stay a year or longer, but it depends upon the client. And don't want to minimize the question, but the success rate of our program depends upon the want to of the clients. If you can ask me how many people leave the program sober, the answer to that question is all of them who want to. And for some people, it takes longer to get to that point than others. Some people leave and they come back. We've had one or two recently who have wanted to come back, and I think we've admitted one who's come back. And this is a difficult challenge, as Nate has said already. But the length of time is relative to the person going through the process. I know that doesn't give you a specific answer, but that's the best I can. Does it satisfy?
Well, that's good.
Yes, ma'am.
And you said they pay rent. How, do they all have jobs? Or do
Yes.
They get jobs once they, I mean, because I would think some of them might not be employed.
I think some of them might work for some of you in a variety of ways. We are employed at WRC through Paul. We have people who are working at Wayne Farms next door. We have people who are working in the construction field, some in the restaurant industry. So they have jobs and they pay rent to live in the apartments that we provide or that we have, yes.
Do you find them jobs or you help them find jobs?
We help them find jobs. Nate is the expert in this. He does this with the clients.
As a case manager, our first priority when we get our clients is finding them identification, birth certificate, social security cards, getting them employed, making sure they have transportation to and from work. That's just what we do as case managers. As peer support, that entails all of the recovery aspects of their life. So, and I do both with the clients.
Yes, sir.
Have there ever been, I know you're getting the funding back up, but has there been any thoughts of expansion to house, I guess, more, to have more people to come be able to stay at, to get a house in new locations for y'all? Is there plans for that in the future?
When we are able through the means to expand, we will expand, but you're talking about a means to before we're able to do that. We have talked about expansion, acquiring new facilities. The means to do that have not been available at that point. And so we haven't done it. We would love to maybe do some other things around the city, but you're talking about having the means to do it. I'd be happy to cash your check if you want to do that. Yes, in the back.
When you buy one of these properties, you gotta let your neighborhood or the HOA or somebody know the reason you're buying the property. Do you have to disclose that? You can buy any property in the area.
To buy any property in the city?
You have to let the neighborhood know that you're buying properties for this project.
Well, I was not involved at the beginning, so I'm not sure what had to happen. I'm sure that they were informed of what we were doing. That would be a pretty good guess. Is that correct, Loma? They were informed of what was happening. The property is at the corner of Herring Street and Main Street. That's where the properties are. You know where that is? It's catty corner from Rudd Furniture. It's where the properties are.
I have experienced my son. I have two sons. One lives here in Dothan, works with DSI Security. The other is now clinical director of substance abuse company in Oregon. He also has history being an alcoholic. I found this after program more important than anything. You got to do, he says now he's an expert, you go from the most strict prescription down less and less and less and less. It is not an easy thing to overcome addiction. I gave it smoking. And as I said, my grandson said, if Papa would go to the doctor and give him something to help him quit smoking, but Papa will lie to Papa. It's the most important thing. So what you need right now is to make sure that what Larry has done, put everybody in your support.
I don't want to answer questions that haven't been asked, but there used to be, there maybe still be some assumption that alcoholism is a choice that people make. Well, I suppose the choice to take the first drink might be, or this is the choice or something, but maybe this is a disease that we're dealing with. In the 1950s, the American Medical Association described addiction as a disease. It's treated just like you would treat diabetes, just like you would treat heart disease. There are specified protocols for treating the disease, and that's what we're doing. This is not choice behavior. This is a disease that we're dealing with. And we're trying to treat it the best way we can with prescribed and proven methods of treatment.
Jerry, you might mention that we are kicking off the campaign. I was saying.
We're always in the middle of a campaign. Always in the middle of a campaign of some kind. Because just like most all 501c3s, the support you get is almost never enough to do what you need to do. So we're always hunting. Yes, sir.
What's the youngest person you have?
Oh, I don't know, in the 20s, we have somebody.
We don't take them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we have somebody right now in their 20s, but we don't do 19 because of the state rules. That's not a question I asked. So I'm not sure.
We do have other programs that for adolescents.
I want to thank Cal for bringing that program, and Joseph and Nate, thank y'all. I can't imagine the job you do. I think I got it pretty easy in advertising. I will stay with mine and root you guys on. Let's all stand for the four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Y'all have a great day.